So Hare Krishna. Let's
Hare Krishna.
record on the cloud.
Hare Krishna, Swamiji. Hare Krishna.
So Hare Krishna. So thank you very much for tuning in today. Nice to see all of you here. So before we begin our lecture, we would like to say something about Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj has been critically ill for past couple of weeks, having contracted COVID, and he's in a intensive care in Florida. So the message that I have had this morning was that Maharaj is critically ill, and Jayapatak Maharaj had sent a message saying that the allopathy doctors had mentioned Maharaj had got a lot of acid in his body, and so there was a number of messages saying that requesting all the devotees to offer their utmost and sincere prayers to His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj's recovery. So this is also our humble request that devotees, take some time out, read a chapter of Gita, or chant Hare Krishna, offer prayers, and this entire Bhagavatam class today is an offering to Krishna for Maharaj's recovery. That is the mood with which we can hear the Srimad Bhagavatam. And they have done so much for our sake. After all, I was reading Srimad Bhagavatam, and the message was that we are here because the mercy of some people, some Vaishnavas. We forget that. It is the nature of the material of the mind. It's forgetfulness is the nature. We forget that. So whatever we are today is because of the mercy of the acharyas. They have taken so much risk. Srila Prabhupada, left Vrindavan, went to America at the age of 69 to give this Srimad Bhagavatam to people in general. Underwent so many hardships. So just to distribute this mercy. And His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj, he was very dearmost devotee of Srila Prabhupada, very sincere servant of Srila Prabhupada. Yet personally, Maharaj had opportunity to serve Prabhupada personally. And on the order of his spiritual master, Maharaj had translated books into Bengali, from English to Bengali. So Maharaj is very gentle, very kind, and very dedicated to Srila Prabhupada's service. He has given his life to Prabhupada. He was studying in Germany, and then so he was naturally interested in this our Vedic culture, and he left for India. And then Maharaj had spent some time wandering in different places near the Himalayas and other places. Then when Maharaj, came in touch with the Srila Prabhupada book that is called Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Maharaj thought this is the perfect. I've now got answer to my question. So that's how slowly joined the movement, and he had given his entire life to this mission. So I was watching a video a couple of days ago Maharaj is based at Ujjain temple, and the devotees were saying that Maharaj not to go, please don't go to America, to States, because there is coronavirus. Uh, so Maharaj actually mentions in one of the lectures, uh, uh, and he says that is it, Srila Prabhupada asked us to preach, not to stay, in Vrindavan, not to stay, at the temple where you are, but the mission is to go around and preach. And he was telling that, I know this place is not going to be nice, but Maharaj is mentioning that the Vasudeva Datta. If you know the story of Vasudeva Datta, this devotee, he said to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that, my Lord, I wanted to take the sinful reactions of everyone on this planet Earth. Let them go back to Godhead, but let me suffer. For their sinful reactions, I'm happy to suffer, but you free them. So Bhakti Charu Swami mood was like that. He wanted to take other sins. That was the mood of Bhakti Charu Swami. And it was also the mood of Bhakti Tirtha Swami, another Acharya in our Sampradaya. So these Acharyas, these saints, have given their life. So it is our minimum duty that we sincerely pray to Krishna at his lotus feet for the recovery of Maharaj. So this entire class will be dedicated for Maharaj's recovery. That is the mood which we're going to narrate this class. And I also request, keep this in the mind always. And also just remember that we are here because of the mercy. We forget. We just forget that we received that mercy. Prabhupada explains that the topic for today is Shukadeva Goswami. And he mentions that even Shukadeva Goswami was able to narrate Bhagavatam because of the mercy of the previous Acharyas. So with that in mind, let us now do Mangala Charan to invoke the auspiciousness and offer prayers to all our Acharyas before we begin today's class. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kathamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Shtam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we have been discussing the series of Mahajans from Srimad Bhagavatam. So there is a verse in the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam where Lord Yama describes that there are 12 Mahajanas. Mahajana means a true servant of the Lord, a great devotee of the Lord, and who knows the truth and who knows how to act according to the time, place, and circumstance. Although the scriptures are there, but it is difficult to find out the essence with your own endeavor. Just like there is a pharmacy shop and there are so many medicines. You are suffering from a disease, but there are medicines available, but you don't know which medicines you can take. So that's why you need a doctor. And doctor will prescribe a right medicine and you can go and pick the right medicine from the shop. So our Vedas are also like that. Vedic Vedas are like pharmacy. And so these Mahajans are like doctors. So they will, they know what medicine to give at what time and how to act at different places, like time, place, circumstances. The dharma that is described in the scriptures, that is dynamic, that is not constant. It is dynamic, it changes based on the situation to situation. So these Mahajans are great devotees of the Lord. They know the real truth. The truth is hidden in their heart. So if we want to know the real truth, we better study their lives and take lessons from their lives. So with that in mind, we have started this series of 12 Mahajans. Mahajana means a great personality, a great devotee, who knows the real truth. The truth is hidden in their heart. And the Mahajana for today is Srila Shukadeva Goswami. So we all know that he's the son of Vyasdev. But what I'll do is I'll just follow a system, the system that is followed by Suta Goswami. Suta Goswami, before reciting Srimad Bhagavatam to the sages at Naimisharanya, he offered respectful obeisances to Shukadeva Goswami. This is the system in general. They don't just simply speak, because they received that knowledge from the acharyas. they always offer respectful obeisances to their predecessors. That is the Vedic tradition. Always, 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 because we are made up of their mercy. So that's why they always offer respects to their predecessors. And we also follow in their footsteps. So let me first offer glorification to Suta Goswami. We all know that Shukadeva Goswami recited Bhagavatam to Maharaj Parikshit when Maharaj Parikshit was on his, on the verge of death. And in that assembly, Suta Goswami was there, and Suta Goswami then narrated this Bhagavatam to the sages of Naimisharanya upon request. So we will first glorify Suta Goswami and then offer respectable obeisances to Shukadeva Goswami. So let me bring up my screen. Let me share the screen. Share it. So this is the glorification that they offer to Suta Goswami, the sages of Naimisharanya. The sage of Naimisharanya gathered there to perform a great sacrifice, which will last for 1,000 years. And why are they doing it? They are doing for the benefit of whole humankind. And they've decided that it is better to hear from a leader, Suta Goswami. And they offered the elevated seat to Suta Goswami. And then they asked questions. And during that process, they glorified him. And this is one of the words how they glorified. Vetatvam saumya tat sarvam tatvastat anugrahat bruyah snigdasya shishyasya guravo guhyam apyuta. And because you are submissive, your spiritual masters have endowed you with all the favors bestowed upon a gentle disciple. Therefore, you can tell us that you have since scientifically learned from them. So the sages are glorifying him, that how gentle, how submissive, Suta Goswami as a disciple, as a result of his qualities, he was bestowed with all the knowledge from his spiritual masters. This is one quality. And our spiritual master may not be with us, but Lord Krishna sees how gentle, how submissive, how sincere we are in our endeavor. Don't think just because Srila Prabhupada is not in front of us or our own spiritual master is not in front of us that no one is going to see. But Lord Krishna sees, sitting in the heart of every one of us. So this is another prayer that they offer to Suta Goswami. Tvam naha sandarishito datra dustaram nistitirshatam kalim sattvaharam pumsam karnadarai varnavam. We think that we have met your goodness by the will of providence. just so that we may accept you as captain of the ship for those who desire to cross the difficult ocean of Kali, which deteriorates all the good qualities of a human being. Here the sages expresses their fortunate position. They say that we are very fortunate. So we met your goodness by the will of providence, and they've accepted him as the captain of the ship. And the ocean is the Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is like an ocean, and it is very difficult to, just as we can't cross over the ocean. So, and we need a captain who can take us from the one shore to the other shore. And for all of us, Srila Prabhupada is our captain. And the ship, what is the ship? The Srimad Bhagavatam is the ship. We can all sit in that ship. We can all take shelter of that ship of Srimad Bhagavatam, and then cross over this material existence, which is compared to ocean. And we need that captain. That captain is Srila Prabhupada. And this ship is got plenty of place. Yes, and it is there is no limit to the number of spaces in this ship. As soon as one jumps into the ship expands. How? Because the devotees, they preach to others. So an unlimited number of people can take shelter of this ship of Srimad Bhagavatam, ship of this Krishna consciousness. And we have a wonderful captain of Srila Prabhupada. Under his guidance and under his captainship, under his leadership, we will be able to cross over this material existence. And after glorifying Suta Goswami, then sages of Naimisharanya, they asked questions. And the sages, they ask questions that are beneficial to whole humankind. A normal person may ask a question that is specifically beneficial to himself or his own family. But here, when the sages have asked questions, those questions are beneficial to whole humankind. Some of the questions were, how every living entity can be satisfied. What is the duty of every living entity? The other questions are, describe the pastimes of Lord Krishna. Like that, there are a number of questions posed by the sages headed by Shaunaka. He was the spokesperson for the sages at Naimisharanya. So Suta Goswami, the sages, they glorified and they asked the questions. And then Suta Goswami, he did not answer the questions directly. And this is the parampara, and this is the system. He first glorified, first offer his respectable obeisances to his own spiritual masters and other great people. And we are also following the same system. So in this verse, before he began to answer, he offered his obeisances to Shukadeva Goswami, and who is the topic for our class today. Suta uvacha yam pravrajantam anupetam apeta krutyam dvaipayano viraha katara ajuhava putreti tanmaya tayataravo binetus tam sarvabhuta vrudayam manatosmi tam sarvabhuta vrudayam manatosmi. Srila Sutta Goswami said, "Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto that great sage, Shukadeva Goswami, who can enter the arts of all. When he went away to take up the renounced order of life, sannyasa, leaving home without undergoing reformation by the sacred thread or the ceremonies observed by the higher castes, his father Vasdeva, fearing separation from him, cried out, 'My son, oh my son!' Indeed, only the trees which were absorbed in the same feelings of separation echoed in response to the bereaved father." So he also offers prayers in the next verse. Yah svanubhavamakilashrutisāramekam adhyatmadīpamatititīrshatam tamo andham samsārinām karunayāha purāna guhyam tam vyāsasūnum upayāmi gurum munīnām. Let me offer my respectful obeisances on him, Shuka, the spiritual master of all the sages. He was the Shukadeva Goswami addressed here as Guru Muninam, the spiritual master of all the sages, the son of Vyasdeva, who out of his great compassion for those gross materialists who struggle to cross over the darkest region of this material existence, spoke this most confidential supplement to the cream of Vedic knowledge, after having personally assimilated it by the experience. We will discuss this verse a little later, but let me offer the respects to all others as well. So in two verses, Sutta Goswami offers respects to Shukadeva Goswami. Then he offers this respects to all others. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayet. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Naranarayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto the Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasdeva, the author. Nashta prayeshvabhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavatyuttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtuki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. And loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. So now, after offering glorification to Sutta Goswami and offering respectable obeisances to Srila Shukadeva Goswami, then offering obeisances to Lord Krishna and Vyasdev, Saraswati, and Naranarayan Rishi. So now we begin our discussion for today. So the topic for today is Srila Shukadeva Goswami. The name of Shukadeva Goswami first appears in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So it is the third verse where it's been mentioned. Shukadeva Goswami's name was mentioned. So 1, 1, 3. One of the qualities of a devotee listed in the 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, at the end of 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, there are a number of verses which actually describes the qualities of a devotee, beginning from Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam, so being non-envious to all living entities, and then being friendly, like that. There are several qualities mentioned. And one of the quality of a devotee was maunam. Mauni means silent. Prabhupada explains in the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, maunam doesn't mean that you just be silent, but let your mind wander around. In the mind, you are talking so much, but externally you try to be silent. And the real silence is to glorify the Lord. And if you see, Shukadeva Goswami, he spoke this Srimad Bhagavatam to Maharaj Parikshit continuously for 7 days and 7 nights. So Prabhupada says that the real silence means glorification, continuous glorification of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. So Shukadeva Goswami name comes in the 3rd verse of the 1st canto, 1st chapter. Nigama kalpataror galitam phalam shukamukatam rutadrava samyutam pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavukaha. Here, Shukamukhat Amruta Drava Samyutam. Shuka is Shukadeva Goswami. So let's read the translation. O expert and thoughtful man, relish Srimad Bhagavatam, the mature fruit of the desired tree of Vedic literature. It emanated from the lips of Sri Shukadeva Goswami. Therefore, this fruit has become even more tasteful. Why it has become more tasteful? Because it is emanated from the lotus mouth of Srila Shukadeva Goswami. Although it is nectarian juice was already relishable for all, including liberated souls. The whole entire Vedic literature is compared to a desire tree. A desire tree gives whatever you ask for. And if this desire tree has got a ripened fruit, and that ripened fruit is Srimad Bhagavatam. And this ripened fruit itself is tasty. When it is not ripened, we get bananas, we get peaches, other fruits, they're not ripened. We got, many times pineapple at our place, when it's not ripened, we can't eat it. All other subjects, maybe like, in the Vedic literature, only Srimad Bhagavatam is considered as a ripened fruit, which is ready to eat, which is tasty. But it has become even tastier, even more tastier, because it is emanated from the lotus mouth of Shukadeva Goswami. And the Sanskrit word Shuka means parrot. We will also describe that story of Shukadeva Goswami, and that him being a parrot of Srimad Radharani. So in villages, in farming community, we know it very well, because having come from the farming community, I've experienced this myself. When a parrot pecks a fruit, bites a fruit, and that fruit is very much in demand, because that fruit tastes better. So we used to eat those fruits as well in our villages. Especially we had this farm and there were a number of fruit-bearing trees. And several times we had the opportunity to eat the fruits that were pecked by the parrot. They were very tasty. So this fruit of Srimad Bhagavatam was pecked by a parrot known as Srila Shukadeva Goswami. That's why it is even more relishable. And for us, and it is even further relishable because it is emanated from the acharyas. All our acharyas have tasted it and they're passing it as a remnant. Srila Prabhupada personally took so much pain to put together the Srimad Bhagavatam. So for us, it is even more tasty because not only it was tasted by Shukadeva Goswami, but it is also tasted by Srila Prabhupada and other acharyas. And that's why it is even more tastier for us. So in this verse, in offering respectful obeisances to Sutta Goswami, Shukadeva Goswami, the Sutta Goswami says that, Shukadeva Goswami, after his birth, he just did not undergo any reformatory process. There are some rituals. After one is born, there is purificatory process in the Vedic tradition. But Shukadeva Goswami did not undergo any reformatory or purificatory process. Usually, he was son of Vyasdev, who was a Brahmin. So they were supposed to take, the Brahmin initiation, where you get a thread and you get a Gayatri mantra, and there are other rituals as well after one is born. But Shukadeva Goswami did not undergo any of this reformatory process. Not undergone any rituals. He just ran to the forest. So it is said that Shukadeva Goswami was a parrot of Srimati Radharani and used to get messages of Krishna to Srimati Radharani, and also sings pastimes of Lord Krishna to Radharani, especially when she was in morose, in separation. So when Srimati Radharani left this world, Shukadeva Goswami parrot asked, I can't live here without you. And Radharani said that, don't worry. So wherever there is Krishna Katha, the glories of Krishna are there, you go and hear them. And you will not feel separation from me and Krishna. And so the parrot, having got that message, went to Kailash Hills. And that time, Lord Shiva, on the request of Mother Parvati, was narrating Srimad Bhagavatam to Mother Parvati. But before narrating this Bhagavatam to Mother Parvati, Lord Shiva said that when I, recite, narrate this Bhagavatam, I go into trance. So I want you to say that you are hearing. Say like, we say that when someone is saying, we nod our head, we say, okay, like that. So there is a response that you are hearing. So Lord Shiva told to Parvati that you should say that, like that, okay, so that I know that you are hearing. So Lord Shiva started narrating Bhagavatam to Mother Parvati. And that time, parrot Shuka came, and it was supposed to be a confidential matter, and no one was allowed to hear the Srimad Bhagavatam. So that was the condition they put forward. And some or other, Shukadeva Goswami went and hid in the branch of a tree, and he started hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. It is said that Mother Parvati, after some time, she fell asleep. She said, okay, like that for some time, but she fell asleep after some time. And, devotees in the Srimad Bhagavatam classes, we also follow in the footsteps of Mother Parvati. We are proper disciples of followers of Mother Parvati. When Srimad Bhagavatam Katha is there, we also, some of us, we also fall asleep. So, and Mother Parvati, when she fell asleep, Shukadeva Goswami in the form of parrot, so he started doing okay, like that. And Lord Shiva narrated entire Bhagavatam and then woke up from the trance. And for his surprise, Mother Parvati was sleeping, fell asleep. So then he wondered who was doing this, like that, who was saying this. So then he found out there was a parrot hiding in the branch of on the branch of a tree. Then Lord Shiva chased it because the parrot broke the rule that no one should hear Srimad Bhagavatam. So the parrot flew, and Lord Shiva followed the parrot, and then the parrot went to Badrikashram, where Vyasdev was residing with his wife, and Vyasdev's wife was yanning. So the parrot went into the mouth and then went into the tummy of Vyasdev's wife. And Lord Shiva followed, and he asked Vyasdev, "Did you see a parrot?" Vyasdev asked, "Why? Why are you asking?" So Lord Shiva narrated what had happened. Vyasdev said that after hearing Bhagavatam, the parrot has been liberated. What is the point of you chasing and punishing it? And Lord Shiva left from that place. And in the Brahma Vaivarta Purana, Prabhupada also quotes in the 9th canto, in one of the purports, that Srila Shukadeva Goswami stayed in the womb for a long time. In one place it is said 12 years, in another place 16 years. Anyway, so most people say 16. So he stayed and in the womb of his mother for 16 years. Very long time. He doesn't want to come out. He was liberated within the womb itself. And he doesn't want to come out. The reason it is said was that he'll be affected by the Maya, the illusory energy of the Lord. So he said to Vyasdev asked him to come out, but Shukadeva Goswami, he said from the tummy that if you promise me that the Maya will not affect me, then I will come out. Vyasdev said, yes, no problem, I'll make that happen. Shukadeva Goswami questioned, you are now householder, you are attached to me, you're attached to your wife. So how can you, make me free of this illusory energy? So then Vyasdev went to Dwaraka and brought Lord Krishna. So upon the order of Lord Krishna, Shukadeva Goswami came out of the tummy of his mother. Just imagine, mother 16-year-old, just 1 year old, 9 months, the tummy looks bigger. Just imagine how much, bigger tummy is mother having. So Krishna, it is said that Krishna removed the Maya, illusory potency, just for some time. Shukadeva Goswami came out of tummy, and then immediately he started running to the forest. He did not stay at home because he thought that I will be entangled in the household affairs, and I will be affected by Maya. So thinking like this, he ran to the forest. While he was running, Vasudeva followed him. And there is a little description in the 4th chapter of 1st canto, what had happened on the way. Let's read this. While Sri Vasudeva was following his son, beautiful young damsels who were bathing naked covered their bodies with cloth. While Sri Vasudeva was following his son, beautiful young damsels who were bathing naked covered their bodies with cloth. Although Sri Vyasdeva himself was not naked, but they had not done so when his son had passed. The sage inquired about this, and the young ladies replied that his son was purified and when looking at them made no distinction between male and female, but the sage made such distinctions. Hmm. So this is the elevated position of Shukadeva Goswami. When he looked at a person, he was just looking at the soul, that he could not see the external covering of a living entity. That was the stage Srila Shukadeva Goswami was there. So why Vyasdeva made that distinction? Because he was an householder, he had to make that distinction. That's what Prabhupada says. What does it say? The perfection of the spiritual vision is liberated stage, and Srila Shukadeva Goswami attained this stage. Srila Vyasdeva was also in the transcendental stage, but because he was in the householder life, he did not pretend to be a liberated soul as a matter of custom. So that was the position of Shukadeva Goswami. Then he was, Shukadeva Goswami was attracted to the impersonal feature of the Lord. And upon entering the forest, he sat under a tree and then he started meditating on the impersonal aspect of the Lord. So Vyasdev thought, I compiled the Srimad Bhagavatam. I wanted to teach my son, impart this knowledge onto him, but he went to the forest and he is absorbed in the impersonal aspect of the Lord. What to do now? Thinking, he sent some of his disciples to forest, asking them to recite a couple of verses which will attract Shukadeva Goswami to Lord Krishna's lotus feet. So he just said that you just act as if you are not a sage. Just act as if you are a forest dwelling, and then recite these verses. So one verse, the first verse, describes how Lord Krishna externally appears. His appearance. That's what it's described, the first verse. And the second verse describes the characteristics of Lord Krishna, the magnanimity of Lord Krishna. First is the appearance of Lord Krishna, and the second one is the magnanimity of Lord Krishna. And we will recite those two verses. And these are the two verses the sages recited in the forest to attract Shukadeva Goswami to Srimad Bhagavatam and to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. So the first verse is that we find in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, 21st chapter, and 5th verse. Barhapidam Natavaravapu Karnayoho Karnikaram Bibratvasaha Kanakakapisham Vaijayantim Chamalam Randran Venor Adharasudayo Purayan Gopa Vrundhai Vrundaranyam Swapadaramanam Pravishad Gita Kirtihi. So this is the appearance shloka. Wearing peacock feather ornament upon his head, blue karnikara flowers on his ears, a yellow garment as brilliant as gold, and the Vaijayanti garland, Lord Krishna exhibited his transcendental form as the greatest of dancers as he entered the forest of Vrindavana, beautifying it with the marks of his footprints. He filled the holes of his flute with the nectar of his lips, and the cowherd boys sang his glories. So it describes that how beautifully Krishna looking, wearing peacock feather and other ornaments on the head, and putting blue karnikara flowers in his ears, and wearing yellow garment, which is as brilliant as gold, and he also wore Vaijayanti garland, and he was Natavara, like he's a great dancer, and the whole the forest of Vrindavana became so beautiful with his lotus footprints, and the flute is getting so much nectar from his lips, being touched by his lips. And he was also, cowherd boys are singing his glories. This is how he was going to the forest. And the second verse describes his magnanimity. This is another verse they sang, sages sung in the forest. Aho bakiyam stanakalakutam jigam sayapayayatapya sadvi lebe gatim datruchitam tatonyam kamvadayalum sharanam vrajema kamvadayalum sharanam vrajema kamvadayalum sharanam vrajema. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Translation. Alas, how shall I take shelter of one more merciful than he who granted the position of a mother to a she-demon Putana, although she was unfaithful and she prepared deadly poison to be sucked from her breast. So here, this particular verse says the kindness, magnanimity of Krishna, that Putana, she-demon, she is the sister of Bhakasur. That's why she was addressed here as Baki. So she came to Krishna to kill him, to inject deadly poison and to kill him. And in return, what did Krishna do? Datruchitam tatonyam. So he granted a position of a mother, of a nurse in the spiritual world. So Putana came to kill him, but in return, Krishna offered her a position of a mercer, a nurse in the spiritual world who will take care of Krishna. And Kamva Dayalum Sharanam Rojema, who is more merciful than him, and who should I take? Why should I take shelter of someone else other than Krishna? Because Krishna is such merciful personality. So having heard these two verses, Shukadeva Goswami came back. And he actually asked, oh, these verses are very nice. I wanted to hear more of these verses. And the sages said, come, we have our own guru. So who can teach you more verses? And they brought him to Vyasdeva, his own father. And Vyasdeva imported Srimad Bhagavatam onto him. Several times the sages also asks in the Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, why Shukadeva Goswami had underwent trouble of reading Srimad Bhagavatam, although he was liberated by birth. Although he was liberated by birth, why did he read Srimad Bhagavatam? Why did he study? And that's the right word, study Srimad Bhagavatam. So here it is said, the great sage Vasudeva, after compiling the Srimad Bhagavatam and revising it, taught to his own son, Shukadeva Goswami, who was already engaged in self-realization, already in self-realization. Sri Shaunaka asked Suta Goswami, Sri Shukadeva Goswami was already on the path of self-realization, and thus he was pleased with his own self. So why did he take the trouble to undergo the study of such vast literature? And this is a famous verse, a very famous verse. Suta Vacha Atma Ramascha Munayo Nirgrantapyurukrame Kurvanta Haitu Kim Bhaktim Itam Bhuta Guno Harihi. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave 64 explanations to this particular verse. Those 64 explanations can be found in the Chaitanya Charitamrita in Madhya Leela. 64 explanations. And sometimes people think that just by learning Sanskrit, they can understand scriptures. But it is very difficult. The true essence, you may not get it. The true essence is hidden in the heart of a pure devotee. That's why it is always better to learn from a devotee. So just because we know a little bit of Sanskrit or whatever, a little bit of English, we think we can read and we can study and understand everything. But without the mercy, and without their giving the inner hidden meaning of that particular verse, we will not be able to go anywhere forward. So 64 ways, one verse, imagine one verse is explained in 64 ways. The word here, Atma, the verse begins Atma Ramascha Munayo. So the word Atma has got 7 meanings in Sanskrit. So there is a detailed description in Madhya Leela, Chaitanya Charitamrita. If you want to read, please go ahead and read at a later time. Suta Goswami said, all different varieties of Atma Ramas, those who take pleasure in the Atma or the spirit soul. Atma Rama means they're self-satisfied. They don't need pleasure, getting pleasure. They don't need to do anything to get pleasure from elsewhere. All different varieties of these Atma Ramas, especially those established on the path of self-realization, though freed from all kinds of material bondage, desire to render unalloyed devotional service unto the personality of Godhead. This means that the Lord possesses transcendental qualities and therefore can attract even including the liberated souls. So liberation is not the end. Even liberated people get attracted to the pastimes of Lord Krishna. Usually when we say liberation, they are impersonalist. So they see everyone with equal vision, and they do not have any pains and etc. They're always in full pleasure. But even people like them get attracted to the transcendental qualities of Lord Krishna. So that's why in response to Shaunaka's question that why did he underwent studying of this vast literature, Suta Goswami says that Srimad Bhagavatam is full of narrations about Lord Krishna and his devotees. And these narrations and these pastimes attracted a liberated soul like Shukadeva Goswami. They also relish Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is for neophyte devotees, for like us. It works for us, and it is also attracts the liberated souls. It is for everyone. From neophyte to the liberated soul can take pleasure in studying Srimad Bhagavatam and discussing Srimad Bhagavatam. So now we will move on to his appearance. We know that Maharaj Parikshit, son of Abhimanyu, was a great king. When he was in the womb of his mother Uttara, Ashwatthama threw Brahmastra, nuclear weapon, at the womb. So this was so targeted, like, such that the fetus within the womb would die and mother wouldn't harm the mother. So accurate. So when he threw that the Brahmastra, nuclear weapon, then Uttara took shelter of Lord Krishna. So Krishna Mahabhavo Bhaktanam Abhayam Kara. So she glorifies, rushes towards Krishna and protect me, Pahimam, please protect me from the weapon of Ashwatthama. So that time, Lord Krishna personally entered the womb of Mother Uttara. It is said that actually the fetus was burned because of the heat of this Brahmastra. And so Lord Krishna revived this baby within the fetus, this in the womb. So that's why one of the names of Parikshit Maharaj was Vishnu Rathaha. That means the one who is protected by Lord Vishnu. He was great personality, great devotee of Lord Krishna. Once upon a time, he went on hunting, and during the course of hunting, he was, he went deep into the forest, and he was very much fatigued and thirsty, feeling hungry, and he was looking for some water. So when he looked around, he couldn't find water anywhere. Then he noticed a hermitage of a sage called Shamik Rishi. And then he went to the hermitage there to ask for some water. And when Maharaj Parikshit went there, the sage was in trance, in samadhi, in deep meditation. He could not welcome King Parikshit. So King Parikshit asked for water a couple of times, and he became a little angry by the will of the Lord. And Maharaj Parikshit, while leaving that hermitage, he saw a dead snake, and then he put that dead snake around the neck of this sage and left that place. And then immediately started thinking, he had never done such an activity. He had always respected Brahmanas. Only on that occasion he behaved like that. It is said, our acharyas tell us that Arjun, he was intimate friend of Lord Krishna. He knows everything by the mercy of Lord. But Lord Krishna put Arjuna under dilemma, under illusion, under confusion. So that's why Arjun was behaving like that. When we read Bhagavad Gita, his body was trembling. He put his bow and arrow aside, and he sat in the Rato Pashavu Pavishat. He sat in the chariot and he said, Krishna, I'm not going to fight. All this was because he was put into that condition by Lord Krishna. And our acharyas tell us the same, that Maharaj Purik. So why Arjun was put into that condition? Because Bhagavad Gita can be spoken, and once Bhagavad Gita is spoken, that is available for the humankind. Similarly, Maharaj Parikshit was put into that condition personally by Lord Krishna, so that entire Srimad Bhagavatam can be narrated to him, and we also take advantage of Srimad Bhagavatam. So let's see. So 19. Where is it? So this is the 19th chapter. So we're reading some of the translations from first canto, 19th chapter. And this is the chapter entitled The Appearance of Shukadeva Goswami. Okay. So King, after that incident, King came back to his home, and while coming back, he was thinking that what a evil thing I've done. I had never done this kind of thing in my life, and for that I may be punished. And in the meantime, he heard the news that he was cursed by the son of sage Shamik, who is known as Shrungi, that Maharaj Parikshit would die with a snake bite within 7 days. So Maharaj Parikshit, he welcomed the news. So thank you, Krishna, for awarding me this punishment. And thinking that he made his, he retired from the life, family life, and kingly life, royal life, and he made his son Janamejaya king. And so he went to the bank of Ganges and sat there and decided to fast until death. So when he sat on the bank of Ganges, so there were several sages, not from this planet, from all other planets. They came, and if I want to name some of them, there was a big list of people, and we don't know how they had communicated with each other. There were no WhatsApp, there were no fax machines, no emails in that time. But when they heard that Maharaj Parikshit decided to fast until death on the bank of Ganges, all the sages from all over the universe, not just one, earthly planet, all over the universe came to that place. Narad was there, Vasudev was there, Parshuram was there, Vashishta, and Vishwamitra, Gautam Muni, great sages. They all gathered there. And so Maharaj Parikshit received all of them nicely, and he asked one question. So this is the question. 23, verse 23. O great sages, you all very kindly assembled here, having come from all parts of the universe. You're all as good as supreme knowledge personified, who resides in the planet above the 3 worlds. Consequently, you are naturally inclined to do good to others, but for this you have no interest, either in this life or in the next. So this is how he welcomed, and then he asked 2 questions. O trustworthy Brahmanas, I now ask you about my immediate duty. Please, after proper deliberation, tell me of the unalloyed duty of everyone in all circumstances, and especially for those who are just about to die. So we read a little bit from purport. In this verse, the king has placed two questions before the learned sages. The first question is, what is the duty of everyone in all circumstances? And the second question is, what is the specific duty of one who is about to die very shortly? Out of the two, the question relating to dying man is most important because everyone is dying. Everyone is a dying man, either very shortly or after 100 years. The duration of life is immaterial, but the duty of a dying man is very important. So, two questions: duty of every man in all circumstances, duty of a man who is about to die. So Prabhupada says something very interesting. Okay, so let's see. In the next verse, Prabhupada says, Can you hear?
Haribol, heard just for a split second, heard can you hear, and then it cut out.
We've just had a Wi-Fi problem in the house, so hopefully it's going to reconnect, but just bear with us for a minute.
Thank you.
No.
We can hear you. Can you just turn your camera on again?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear and see you.
Okay, so sorry about that technical problem. I'm so sorry about it. So let's start from where we are left from. And this is what happens with the technology. It's not in our hands. Ideally, it's face-to-face would be better, but what can be done now? So let's start from where we are left. So we were reading the first canto. Hare Krishna. I will share the screen now. Just 1 second. Sorry about that spotlight. So Maharaj Parikshit asked those two questions. The first question was the duty of every living being, and the second question was duty of a person who is about to die. And Prabhupada says that the second question is more important than the first question because everyone is about to die. So it's better to find out a duty of everyone. Every being who is about to die. So at that moment, there appeared the powerful son of Vyasadeva, who traveled all over the earth, disinterested and satisfied with himself. He did not manifest any symptoms of belonging to any social order, status of life. He was surrounded with women and children, and he dressed as if others had neglected him. So, although Maharaj Parikshit asked these two questions, the assembled sages, they did not reply, and they are just waiting for Maharaj, waiting for Shukadeva Goswami to come in so that he can do a better job. Let's see. So the son of Vyasadeva was only 16-year-old. His legs, hands, thighs, arms, shoulders, forehead, and other parts of the body were all delicately formed. His eyes were beautifully wide, and his nose and ears were highly raised, and he had a very attractive face, and his neck was well formed and beautiful like a conch shell. So Prabhupada gives very nice thing in the purport. I'll just read for everyone's pleasure. A respectable personality is described beginning with the legs, and this honored system is observed here with Shukadeva Goswami. He was only 16 years of age. A person is honored for his achievements, not for advanced age. So this is a wonderful point. A person is honored for his achievements, not for advanced age. So probably in that assembly, he was the youngest. These sages, they were thousands of year old. They were all gathered there, sitting there. Maharaj Parikshit was also much older. Prabhupada says here, but they all respected Srila Shukadeva Goswami. And Prabhupada says, a person is honored for his achievements, not for advanced age. A person can be older by experience and not by age. Srila Shukadeva Goswami, who is described here as the son of Vyasadeva, was by his knowledge more experienced than all the sages present there, although he was only 16-year-old. So he was knowledge-wise is much more experienced than everyone present there. So we should give respect to the senior people. It doesn't mean that we disrespect our juniors. People I've seen sometimes they act very nicely in front of their seniors, and with others they neglect also. So they think, who is this person? He's only he only came to Mehmet just a few years ago, or he's from certain background, he's from this background. So, but these are all external, and the sages they did not give importance to these external qualifications. Rather, they were giving importance to the internal character of Shukadeva Goswami, that he was more exalted than them. His collarbone was fleshy, his chest broad and thick, his navel deep, and his abdomen beautifully striped. His arms were long, and curly hair was strewn over beautiful face. He was naked, and the hue of his body reflected that of Lord Krishna. He was blackish and very beautiful due to his youth. Because of the glamour of his body and his attractive smiles, he was pleasing to women. Though he tried to cover his natural glories, the great sages present there were all expert in the art of physiognomy, and so they honored him by raising their seeds. Maharaj Parikshit, who is also known as Vishnu Ratha, bowed his head to receive chief guest Shukadeva Goswami. At that time, all the ignorant women and the boys ceased following Srila Shukadeva Goswami. Receiving respect from all, Shukadeva Goswami took his exalted seat. So here, Prabhupada comments that although Shukadeva Goswami was only 16, when he came to that assembly, everyone stood, apart from a few people he named. Narad, apart from Narad, Vyasadeva, and maybe one or two. Apart from those couple of people, everybody stood and raised their hand, welcomed Shukadeva Goswami to that assembly, and gave him the high elevated seat and made him sit on that throne, elevated seat, and then everybody sat there to hear from him. And in this assembly, we mentioned Narad was there, Vyasadeva was there, and Parshuram. Parshuram is considered to be one of the incarnations of the Lord. Vyasadeva is also one of the incarnations of the Lord. Narad was also one of the incarnations of the Lord. Prabhupada says in that purport that Lord's devotees are respected more than the Lord. So Shukadeva Goswami was very much respected and honored in that way. So the other question we can ask, why Shukadeva Goswami came to this assembly? So Maharaj Parikshit says that Lord Krishna had accepted me as one of his servants. That's why he had sent you personally to me. So Prabhupada says there that if you are sincere in our endeavor, in our devotion, in our practice of devotion, Lord will send right person to us. So Maharaj Parikshit was on the verge of his death, and at that time all the sages were assembled and Shukadeva Goswami came. So the point is that if we are sincere in our endeavor, then Lord will send the right person. And that way we can get benefit. And one thing I always mention that imagine that what a celebration it is. When you are about to leave your body, there are thousands and thousands of great sages surrounding you, and they're all singing the glories of the Lord continuously. What a great fortune, what a great celebration it is. So for that, it is better that we maintain good relationship with all the Vaishnavas. Don't unnecessarily break your relationships with Vaishnavas, because ultimately we leave our body one day. We need each other's help. We should come together, work as a team, build up this, create this bondage among the Vaishnavas. Very, very important. See, when Maharaj Parikshit was about to leave his body, all the sages came. And similarly, when Bhishmadev was about to leave his body, Krishna was personally present. All other sages were present. So point is that, try to maintain some good relationship with devotees. Ultimately, we're not going to take anything with us. If you are sincere, if we serve Lord and his devotees, and then it is guaranteed that Lord will send someone to us at the time of leaving our own body. That is guaranteed. So Maharaj Parikshit, he also asked other questions: what a man should hear, what a man should glorify, what a man should do, all that thing. So just a couple of minutes I will take and I will answer these questions, how Shukadeva Goswami had answered. Just 2 minutes. So Shukadeva Goswami first said, your questions are very glorious. I'm so happy. The prime subject of your questions is to hear about Srimad Bhagavatam. The Srimad Bhagavatam, I heard it from my father, and I will narrate this to you. So the duty of every man is this, he says, wonderful point. Tasmad Bharata Sarvatma Bhagavan Ishvaro Harihi Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha Smaratavyacheta Abhayam. O descendant of King Bharata, one who desired to be free from all miseries must hear about, glorify, and also remember the personality of Godhead, who is the super soul, the controller, and the savior from all miseries. This is duty of every living entity. And this is a very beautiful verse. Etavan Sankhya Yogabhyam Swadharma Parinishthaya Jna Janma Labdha Param Pumsam Ante Narayana Smriti. Prabhupada quoted this line, Ante Narayana Smriti, many times in many of his lectures. You know, at the end of the day, the perfection of life is remember Lord Narayan, Lord Krishna at the end, at the time of death. That is the perfection. Whether you practice Sankhya, Sankhya means the complete knowledge of matter of spirit, or yoga, or you engage in your duty, or just engage in cultivation of knowledge. But the ultimate point is that you need to check, is the process that we are doing is able to, it will make us remember Lord Narayana at the end. That is the point. So he says, what is the value of prolonged life, which is wasted, inexperienced by years in this world? Better a moment of full consciousness. Yeah, because that gives one a start in searching after the supreme interest. So here, Shukadeva Goswami just tells one point. I'll just finish in 5 minutes. The saintly King Katwanga, after being informed that the duration of his life would be only a moment, at once freed himself from all material activities and took shelter of the supreme safety, the supreme personality of Godhead. Maharaj Katwanga, he had just one moment, within 1 moment he had perfected his life. And he tells, Maharaj Parikshit, now your duration of life is limited to 7 more days. So during this time, you can perform all those rituals which are needed for the best purpose of your next life. And I'll read the purport and stop there. Shukadeva Goswami, after citing the example of Maharaj Katwanga, who prepared himself for the next life within a very short time, encouraged Maharaj Parikshit by saying that since he still had 7 days at his disposal, he could easily take advantage of the time to prepare himself for the next life. Indirectly, Shukadeva Goswami told Maharaj Parikshit that he should take shelter of the sound vibration, sound representation of the Lord for 7 days, still remaining in the duration of his life. So in other words, everyone can best prepare himself for the next life simply by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. And it was recited by Shukadeva Goswami to Maharaj Parikshit. So the rituals are not formal, but there are also some favorable conditions which are required to be carried out as interested hereafter. So Maharaj, Srila Shukadeva Goswami, he says that the duty of everyone is to chant, hear about, and describe the pastimes of Lord Krishna in all circumstances. Whatever the process one undergoes, one should make sure that one is able to remember Lord Narayana or Lord Krishna at the end of one's life. And he says that you still have time to perfect your life. You have 7 days, because Maharaj Katwanga perfected his life in 1 moment. So Prabhupada says in the purports that we forget the purpose of human life. We all forget the purpose of human life and waste our time. That's one point that really touched me while preparing for this class, that we just forget and we waste our time. But we can still realize that aspect and prepare for the death. And the best way to prepare for the death is follow in the footsteps of Maharaj Parikshit and take advantage of Srimad Bhagavatam, hear Srimad Bhagavatam regularly. So this is the one point that we take home. And the second point is that Srila Shukadeva Goswami, he became a great devotee because he heard from his father, Srila Vasudev. Srila Vasudev got the mercy of Nataraj. So Prabhupada mentions that it is the mercy of devotees that we are here. Never forget this. Always we forget, we always complain. Learn the principle of gratitude. We just complain, we have so many things to find faults in others. Yes, but we forget, we are actually, we received this mercy. And without the mercy of great acharyas, we would not have been in this situation. So, second point is that be grateful because of the mercy we are here and being connected to Srimad Bhagavatam because of the mercy of all the acharyas. And other point is that although he was in the absorption of impersonal Brahman, but he got attracted to this great literature, Srimad Bhagavatam, which is full of narrations and descriptions about Lord Krishna. So that indicates that it will attract, Srimad Bhagavatam attracts everyone from a neophyte to the liberated soul. So thank you so much for your participation and for tuning in. And once again, my apologies for the technical error that we had. I'm sorry about that. So if you have any comments or any questions, just let me know. One more time, I just wanted to humbly ask all the devotees to sincerely pray for the recovery of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. He had given his life to this movement. So it is our minimum duty to offer our sincere prayers. In our congregation, there are a number of his direct disciples are there. They are praying, they are doing what, their level best in offering their prayers. So I also request all the devotees to offer their prayers for recovery of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. Because of, they took so much pain, and we are here today, we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, we got the shelter of Srila Prabhupada, etc. Okay, so Hare Krishna, thank you very much. I'll stop there. Sorry, I took 10 minutes extra. I'm sorry. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Bo, Hare Bo.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavas.
Dandavas Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol.
Well prepared class, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Sorry, we had that interruption. We had that break. So it.
That's good, Prabhuji. You put a lot of hard work into it.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments, Prabhu. I appreciate your
Hare Bo, Hare Bo.
comments.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I owe you a call. Hare Bo, Hare Bo.
Please. Good to know you're okay.
Okay, so I will just end the call here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.